Do you want to go do karate in the garage? Yup! Did we just become best friends?
Welcome. My name is Anthony. This is Alfredo. And did we just become best friends?
Yes, we did.
All right. So this is a podcast that we just talk about whatever's going on in the world. Sports, video games, whatever else is trending. And last time we talked about the hype going into Infinity Wars. We both saw it. Yes, and now the only thing that's everyone's talking about in the world today is Infinity Wars.
Yep. Everything about it.
Oh, man.
They even got memes out already. Really funny ones, too.
Yeah. So before we get into everything, we're going to probably split this one up into non-spoilers. Mm-hmm. And we're going to talk about non-spoilery stuff. And then we're going to move into spoilers because it is hard not to talk about spoilers. There's going to be very, very few things that we can talk about that will not spoil it. So I think the first non-spoiler thing is, how'd you like it?
I didn't. I loved it. It was awesome. I want to go see it again and again. Thank you, MoviePass, for allowing me to be a member and for them to let me watch it multiple times. Have yet to watch it again and again, but I will. Like you said, we're going to try to do it. Good luck to us, but there's so much stuff we want to talk about, so
it's a lot of
it's going to be very difficult. But top foremost, we were talking before we started this was let's prep for the non-viewers who have not seen it. We would like to try to prep you. Therefore, when you watch the movie, you know what to see. It's best if you watch the movie a few hours before you actually go see Infinity War, or maybe the day before, like that you refresh your mind. One of the movies we talked about was Thor Ragnarok.
Thor Ragnarok.
Right. So Thor Ragnarok, watch that one to the very end, to the post-credits, I believe it was.
I believe it's the second, at the very end. It's the end credits, end. Okay. After the credits roll, it's that post-credit scene.
Right.
They usually have multiple ones. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, Guardians, no, that was Thor. Never mind.
Right.
Yeah, Thor had two.
Actually, right, yeah.
But yeah, we'll stay with Thor.
Yeah, we'll stay with Thor. Watch that movie, Ragnarok. If you haven't seen it, you're going to like it. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I like it. It's kind of funny, actually.
It was one of my favorites.
In that one.
Yeah, it was one of my favorites. We'll talk about Thor real quick, just because it also leads up to the movie. Obviously, this Infinity Wars starts off exactly where that post credit scene ends. Mm-hmm. But talking about Thor just by himself, this is not. I feel like when I watched this movie, this was not the same Thor.
No,
this wasn't Thor from Avengers 1. This wasn't Thor from Avengers 2. This wasn't Thor from his own movies. This was Thor from Ragnarok. So this Avengers Infinity War was Thor Ragnarok. And he was a different person, I felt like.
Yeah.
Besides the haircut and stuff like that, he was very, very different. I felt like he carried himself differently and better, I thought. He was way more... He was always kind of confident and cocky, but I feel like he was very more matured, I guess, as a character. So that's one thing I like too. And Ragnarok kind of sets that up, as him being a new person, a new character, more or less.
Right. I kind of felt like he was a little bit arrogant in that one.
In which one?
In Infinity
War?
Yeah, just a little arrogant, but you know what? He needed to be.
Yeah.
So I'm going to leave it like that. I don't want to go too much into detail. Another movie I would suggest maybe watching is Volume 2, Guardians of the Galaxy. Once again, for the post-credits. You can watch the movie. It's a great movie. If you want to just skip to the end for the credits, that's fine also. But, that has a little bit of correlation with that. Because remember now, Infinity War has everybody come together for a bit, And I want to just talk about it. I just can't. I have to stop.
No spoilers, not yet.
But people, go see it. Few pointers. I love lemonade. I chug that stuff like it's no tomorrow. If you are one of those people like myself, sip it. Because you don't want to miss nothing of this movie. Not even a little bit.
Yeah. I agree.
If you need to go to the washroom, make sure the theater's right next to the washroom. and get yourself some nice seating. I don't know. I went to Navy Bell Palms, and they had the nice luxury seats.
Yeah, I think that's the best way to watch it is get comfortable because it's almost 3 hours.
Right.
But the thing is, like, for me, I was like on the edge of my seat for 3 hours because no spoilers yet, but I mean, it starts like right off the bat. Yeah. I mean, it starts and it does not let up. Right. It does not let up. It's totally different. Yeah. It's not like, oh, maybe I can sneak away in this quiet scene. There is none.
You don't want to show up late. Don't show up late. No. Don't think, it's at 10 o'clock and I got 15 minutes of credits or 15 minutes of no, don't. Get there. Get there on time. Get comfortable. Empty your bladder. And just go sit and sip on whatever you want to drink, whatever you're drinking. You don't want to miss it from beginning to end because it shocked me. I don't know about you.
Oh, yeah.
It freaked me the hell out. Once you sit down and it's like, action.
Right.
Pure action. It's not those like, oh, this guy, oh, that girl. No, it's nothing. It's just straight into
the story.
Right. So it's pretty cool.
Another prep thing. A lot of what I've been reading about the critics, like the people that don't like the movie, the biggest thing I hear is like, oh, well, it's not a standalone movie. You just can't watch this movie. And I think you could if you're just a casual fan.
Right.
But it's not meant to be like that.
No.
This thing was, from day one, was like, we're going to bring all these people together.
Right.
And that was like in Avengers 1 and Avengers 2 was like, the family is getting bigger, so to speak. And every movie is going to have a bigger ensemble, like this one did.
Right.
So for me, those critics are like, oh, well, you can't just watch this without the other ones. I'm like, no one said that you should. I think you should watch all the movies, or at least seen them. Maybe not like you don't have to watch them all right, the weekend before like I did because I'm crazy like that. But at least Thor Ragnarok for sure, Black Panther for sure, and Civil War.
Civil War, yeah.
I think those are the main ones. That it hits on. Guardians obviously are really awesome too. But yeah, I mean, you should probably watch them all.
Yes.
But you don't have to watch every single one.
No.
But it's not a standalone movie.
No, it's not.
It's not just like, oh, here, I can just walk in and watch it. And I've never seen any one of the movies.
You're going to be lost.
Yeah, there's a lot of backstory. And there's things that carry, and it's meant to be like that. It's meant to be carried over like a comic book. Because remember, people that are talking crap about this are like, well, there's too many comic book heroes. It's Marvel. It's a comic book company making comic book movies about their comic book characters.
Right.
That's what it is. It's like, it's just insane. We're like, well, Vin Diesel doesn't do anything else besides action. Yeah, it's Vin Diesel. That's all he does, Yeah. It's like, there's just, it's their genre. It's what they do. So that's why one thing I didn't like about the critics was like, really, that's the thing you're upset about, And then
they're idiots. They're probably DC fans.
Yeah. Oh God, don't get me started with DC. But yeah. I mean, it was really, really good. I'm same with you. I loved it. It was amazing, amazing. I want to see it again. Like as soon as I finished watching it, I'm like, I want to watch it again. I want to watch it again. It was just that good.
Yeah, I was. I mean, I wanted to go see right. We emptied the theater.
Just go back in.
Yeah, we wanted to. I did. Yeah. I mean, there was Rampage with. I heard shitty reviews, but
with The Rock.
Yeah, just wait a couple hours and then hop back in. But you know what?
Spend the whole day at the theater.
Yeah, that's easily. That's how good it is. And like I said, there's so much to talk about. If you have not seen it yet, and you're very strong-willed, keeping away from the internet, a lot of people are posting, "Oh yeah, blah blah blah." Blah. You know what? No, dude, don't put that stuff. Don't spoil it for other people.
At least put like a warning, like, "Hey, this is going to contain spoilers."
Right?
I feel like that would help out.
I mean, if you're strong enough, like, to keep away from social media because it's going to be all over. If you haven't seen the movie yet, chances are something's happened already because some jerk already leaked it. But if you have been the fortunate one, have not got any clues, awesome. Yeah, we'll see it before some jerk says, "Hey, do." then you ruin it.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to get ruined.
There was one somebody I follow on Snapchat, one of my friends. He, I was after I saw the movie, and I was going through my Snapchat the next day. I saw that he put up something that kind of spoiled it, and I'm like, I would have been pissed off if I would have saw that before I went to the theater. I was like, dude, you are lucky. Because I would have texted you and called you. I'm like, you can go to hell. I was like, what the hell? Do not do that to me. Do not do that to me.
That's the way I know.
Quick little side story about spoiling movies. Mm-hmm. This is when we used to work at Lightology. And we had a friend, one of my friends, Alex, whose name is on that trophy behind us. I forgot what number it was of the Transformers series, right? And I had bought tickets for the IMAX. I think it was like 2 or 3, or number 2 or 3 for Transformers. Mm-hmm. And I went IMAX. You know, I'm like, I want to see this on IMAX. You know, like it's just that like visually good. And this one, the spoiler, if you haven't seen the movie, but it's the one where Optimus dies. You know, it's when Optimus Prime dies. And I'm going to see it that night. And Alex has like, he was saying, forgot what he was saying. We were talking about, he was, oh yeah, man, it's really messed up when Optimus dies. I'm like, you son of a... I was like, dude, I'm going to see it in a couple hours. He goes, no, I know what, they bring him back. Dude, he's spoiled it again. Come on, man, come on. You know, and...
Now the Transformers was big back then too.
It still kind of is. I mean, it's nowhere. Even the first ones weren't that great, no. But I mean, visually they were impressive. You know, and that's why I wanted to see it on IMAX. And I don't care for IMAX, but that one I wanted to. Yeah, and he said that. I'm like, so not only did he spoil the death, he spoiled him coming back to life as well. And that really, so I was like, and it was an honest mistake. It wasn't like he did it on purpose. You know, it was just like the thing. Like we're kind of holding back our spoilers for Infinity War, and we almost slipped up, like even me, like a couple times in this, you know, first 10 minutes.
Oh man!
So one thing before we do get into spoilers, is there anything that was too much or too little? Like, did we not see a character enough, or was there too many characters at once and it got like too clustered? Like anything like that? You know,
it was a little bit of both, because I know there was a lot of characters to follow. You were rooting for some, you were crying for others, and you know, I don't know. I'm mixed on that. There was a lot of characters, a lot more than expected. Even though we know it was 76.
It felt like more.
It did.
It felt like over 100. Like seriously. You know?
Yeah, it actually did. Now,
because there was like, for me, there was no supporting actor.
No,
it was just.
I think that's where I'm
actors.
I think that's why I'm kind of mixed, because they try to balance everything out again, just like they did with Civil War. I believe it was. They try to balance everything out, and they did a pretty good job. Some characters got more of a role than others. However, the ones that got a little role were main parts. The ones that got less of a role had more action. And that's one thing I noticed. I'm not gonna say much anything else. I'm trying to keep away from names.
Yeah.
Because I really want to say a bunch of names. But either way, I think it was a mixture. If you had a small part, then you get a bigger role. If you had more movie time, then you have a lot more action.
Yeah,
but your role wasn't that.
I don't know. Well, one that I feel is not a spoiler was Black Widow. She was in it maybe 2 minutes. I mean, she was in it like something happened. She said her little one-liner, and then she was gone for almost the whole movie. And then, you know, she was there, but she wasn't she wasn't any play. She didn't play a major role in anything really, you know. And even towards the end, you know, this big action thing happened, and she said her little one-liner, and then she was gone. Well, you know, and it was like, and I don't mind that. I mean, she didn't. I feel like she doesn't. Not that it's saying she's like an important character, but I feel with this story going on right now, she can't put too much out there for anything to carry the story. You know, like she's cool at what she did, like in Civil War or Winter Soldier, she played a big role. In this one, she really didn't play a big role. No. You know, and I feel that's not spoilery, But like if you're going there to see Black Widow, you'll probably be a little disappointed. But she was always kind of like that character.
I mean, I think she's up there with Hawkeye as not Hawkeye. A lot of practice with if you saw our first one, if you haven't, stop, watch it, then come back to this. Our first podcast. Mm-hmm. But I think she's kind of up there. She's good interrogation. She kicks ass. She
showed off. Like she showed off how badass she is.
Yeah, she is. And she's not afraid of aliens. We saw that in Avengers. She beats the shit out of them. Yeah. She's really good with guns. But she's not Captain America. She's not a Thor. She's not an Iron Man. She's not a Hulk. Where they have something that makes them special. They know how to fight and they know how to shoot bow and arrows.
Well, I feel like she's always been a supporting character. She came into a supporting character just from the beginning. She was always in somebody else's movie. And I heard that they want to do a Black Widow movie, which I would believe would change her into having a bigger role. And they've been talking about it for a couple of years now. And I think that now it's getting a little bit more pushed forward, especially after Wonder Woman being so awesome. Mm-hmm. Like, oh hey, a woman can be an awesome, movie character, and Wonder Woman proved that. So I think, Marvel is like, oh, hey, we have a few awesome women, so I'm like, hey, they could do that too. But yeah, that was my thing. I felt like some of the characters weren't, I'll talk more into spoilers, but some of the characters weren't big enough, I feel. But everyone pushed the story a little bit to where it needed to go. Yeah. I don't know. You want to start spoilers? Unless there's something non-spoiler you want to talk about.
Non-spoiler? No. I mean, it's like I said, it's hard. It's really hard.
It is.
Once you see the movie, you're gonna understand what we're talking about because it's like if we mention a character and whatever. Real quick, I don't know if it's part of spoilers or not. I don't think so. I noticed on Thanos' face. He has 3 scratches here, 3 scratches here.
That's his race. At least in the comic book, that's because if you look at the 3 scratches line up with his lines on his chin.
Okay, because I've heard, read, or seen.
I already know what you're getting at.
That it might be Wolverine. That's not it.
No.
Okay, never mind.
No,
that's all.
It's because that was one thing I looked at, and then I read something then it's part of his face because there's 6 lines on his chin, mm-hmm. and there's 3, and they come together into those lines. So it's just I think part of his race, even though I think. Well, that might be spoiler. All right, so spoilers. Yeah. All right, I'm gonna put a sign up here. Spoilers. If you're listening, spoilers are coming right now. So
stop listening.
Stop listening.
Watch the movie.
Hit pause. Go watch the movie
and continue where we left off.
And come back and watch. Yes. Unless you want to get spoiled, by all means, that's fine too.
Right.
But I think I'll start it off with this movie was about Thanos. This was his movie.
Yeah, it was.
Iron Man was Iron Man 1, 2, 3 was about Iron Man. Captain America was about Captain America. Infinity War was about Thanos.
It was
hands down. It was him.
I have to strongly agree with you because they even showed how he got Gamora. It showed how she was adopted.
Yeah,
then they had towards the end where after he snapped his fingers, he went to some place. I don't know. They look like
they said from what I read. One of the theories is he went inside the Soul Stone because of what happened to her. That she is now in the Soul Stone. Uh-huh. So when it happened, he went into the Soul Stone, and that she a version of her was there, and that version was. And that version was was her soul. Yeah, okay. Was her soul in there? But she was as a kid. That's what I heard.
So is it only her soul that's in that stone because she was sacrificed, or considering it's a soul stone, it takes up all the souls that he just killed?
I don't know. Well, one of the things they said is because she was, so if you haven't seen it, she was sacrificed to obtain the Soul Stone.
Right.
So that might have been the link there, or it could have been, the people that die while the person has a Soul Stone, which would be, so all the people that. So his goal, his goal was he wanted to wipe half of the universe out to make sure the other half so everyone can keep living. So what he would do is he would have planets and cut everyone in the middle. You all die, you all live. The people that live, you get to keep the resources and keep going, forward. So he did that with the universe. He's like, hey, there's only a finite amount of resources in the universe that are being used up too much. So I'm going to get rid of half of the people so the other half that do live can live comfortably. So that was his super genocidal, crazy man, freaking, thoughts. So at the end of the movie, he snaps his finger and boom, half of the universe just ceases. They don't die. Because he said he didn't want to kill them. He just wanted them to cease to exist. Which sounds even worse. But that's, and no one technically, died. They didn't, have a heart attack. They just turned to dust. They just were gone.
Okay, so they turned to ash and cease to exist, but they're not dead. Does that mean they're coming back in part 2?
I don't know. That was another thing. I was kind of really upset because in our last podcast, the Russo brothers, who directed this movie, said, oh, no, it's not part 1, it's not part 2, they're two separate things. And I feel we got, bamboozled. Because at the end, there's going to be part 2. This is only the first half of this story. There's a second half. That's it. There is a second half. If you walk into this movie, expect, oh, well, that's it. No. There's a second half. And they filmed 3, which was number 3 was Infinity War, and number 4, they filmed them by back to back. So Infinity War 4 or Avengers 4, which would be the conclusion of this movie, is already filmed. It's already made. They're doing everything they got to do and whatnot and stuff like that. And so this is not the end.
Oh, well, of course, because at the this is the spoilers part, right?
Yeah.
Okay. At the very end, there was that little logo and symbol, and I had no idea. The kid next to me, he dressed up as Spider-Man. He went ape shit, and I'm.
Oh yeah, so did I.
You were dressed up as Spider-Man?
Yeah, that too. No, I think I had a Doctor Strange shirt on.
Did you?
Yeah, of course.
I mean,
but I did. I went. Oh, I gasped. I'm like, oh my god.
Really?
Yeah, I did.
I looked at. I'm like, okay. First thing I saw, I'm like, did he contact Resident Evil? Because that's Raccoon City little
yeah, kind of
umbrella logo. I'm like, wait, Resident Evil with no. So I saw the kid. He went ape shit. He just went jumping up and down. I'm like, I was about to ask him, but I don't know that kid. So I just waited. So I looked, and actually, I was. Jessica was the one that told me, oh, that's Captain Marvel, I believe it was. Or I think I texted you.
Captain Marvel.
So I ended up texting you, like, okay, I got questions. Jessica has questions. What the hell's going on? So that was a lot to intake. Once again, I'm not a big comic book fan. I kind of want to become one, but no, I don't have time for that. I just want to say that this movie was awesome. There were so many funny parts.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, I think Quill kind of ruined it because they almost had the glove off.
At one point, yeah.
And his one-liners are funny. Was mocking Thor.
Yeah. Oh, that was good.
That was
good. Like, like when they pull Thor out of space. After
what's wrong with that dude?
No,
you're a dude.
He's just a man. You look at his muscle, and they're all like. And then my favorite thing was like, what do you say? Like, oh, he's like some kind of pirate angel. I was like, that is awesome. That is awesome. That's got to be everyone's like new gamer tag now is pirate angel. I was like, that was wicked. But yeah, I liked how everything just flowed well.
It did.
If everything, because right when Thanos just destroys everyone. You know, which that kind of bothered me. So if you do watch Thor Ragnarok, it seems like that whole movie is like kind of crapped on, you know, because you're like, oh, we gotta save Asgard, and we gotta save the people, and we gotta save all these people. Hurry, pile on the ship, and then the next, you know, the next scene,
the very beginning
of this is like, yeah, everyone's dead. Like everyone that we went to go save is they're dead.
Yeah, it's not like they knew they were gonna go see Thanos.
Well, yeah,
you know,
but I don't like when movies do that, when they crap on another movie that came before it. But I don't know. I mean, Marvel does have a plan and they do things properly. Mm-hmm. I think, you know, they think ahead.
I think if they continue the route, I think if Russo brothers are somewhat involved, along with Stan Lee, of course, he makes his little cameo all the time, which I think it's funny.
Yeah. His cameo was good.
Is Thanos, I could be wrong, and I could be the next genocidal crazy guy, but is Thanos wrong for what he's doing? He's trying to prolong the universe, make everything run correctly by overpopulating, and he's trying to wipe half of out, so therefore we could just continue living. If it goes at the pace we're going now, then eventually we're all gonna die.
Well, that's what happened with his homeworld, where his homeworld of Titan was it was too much. It was overpopulating. All the resources were going away, and then he came up with the idea, and he said people were calling him mad, which is why he was the Mad Titan. You know, he goes, hey, let's just kill everyone, kill half, you know, and have it be random. So it doesn't matter if you're rich, you're poor, you're smart, you're stupid. It's just gonna be random, you know, and then you just half, you know. And then, sure enough, he said he's watched everyone die.
Right, because they didn't follow his plan.
Yeah.
So that means he's done this to universe, to world, to
he's been conquering and doing that.
But they've been living. So is that a bad thing, what he's trying to do to Earth?
Well, I mean, he's doing the whole galaxy. This is the entire galaxy.
Yeah, but right now he's on Earth. I'm just saying, is it wrong for
but he was only on Earth at the end.
Bro,
he was never on Earth until the end. Okay, that's why.
In general, is it wrong for him what he's doing?
Yeah, of course.
So you'd rather have everybody just die eventually and turn into Titan?
Everyone's
there's no one there. Like Titan's just an abandoned planet. If you and I go to Titan, it's a population of 2.
Yeah, but I mean that's bad. It's like Hitler shit, you know, man. That's why, he was a homicidal maniac, you know. It's like, oh, well, the world would be better off without these certain group of people. Let's just kill them all. It was like, well, who are you to decide what's better off? You know, like just because something happened to you doesn't mean that something bad is going to happen again. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, hey, you know, my dog got hit by a car, so now, you know, I have to chain my dog to the ground my new dog, so he doesn't run away. I was like, well, you take precautions. The one thing I didn't like about it was Thanos had the plan. Here's the bad guy plan, and here's the good guy plan. And usually the good guy plan beats the bad guy. His plan was like, I want to kill half of the galaxy to make sure at least half of every species stays alive to continue their species, to continue life. Mm-hmm. But the good guys' plan, there wasn't a plan. They're like, no, I want to live. It was just like, I want to live. Well, so what's if Thanos is saying, hey, if we don't change this, everyone's gonna die rather than just half. And then the good guys is like, well, I don't want to die. You know? Right. And then you fight him, and it's like, that's why I feel like this movie is incomplete, because the good guys haven't got their plan together. Their what, you know? But I think for me personally, that's what it's going to be. Is like, well, just because it happened to you doesn't mean it's going to happen to us.
Okay, I mean, like I said, I'm not going to go out there and collect all the stones, infinity, whatever, make a glove, and say, hey, this is what I'm going to do. Nothing happens.
Yeah.
However, that kind of similar reminds me of, what was it, where they had 3 ships try to kill out people on the Earth or in the U.S. because those are the bad people. Eventually, they're gonna end up becoming.
Oh, it was
which one was that one?
Winter Soldier.
Okay.
That was Winter Soldier.
Okay.
Yeah. That's kind of the same thing. It's like you have this algorithm that can figure out who's going to be a bad guy. So let's kill them before they're a bad guy. And obviously, Captain America, who the Russo brothers directed, I believe they directed that one and Civil War. I know they did Civil War, but yeah, it's like Captain America's like, well, you're punishing people before they did anything bad. Is that right? Like, can you kill half of It's just, and then the sad parts are like the people who die. Like, man,
Spider-Man was the worst.
This is a super spoiler. Almost everyone turned into ash, and like you said, Spider-Man was the worst. And then there was another thing what critics were complaining about. It was like, well, everyone else just vanished. Why did Spider-Man start crying and freaking out and blah blah blah? I mean, obviously you want to do it for
he's a kid. He was
drama.
like 16.
But how so I know the answer, but I'm gonna ask you, how did Spider-Man have time to freak out about it when no one else had time to freak out about it? They're just like, oh, I'm vanishing, gone. Where Spider-Man was like, no, I don't want to die, don't do this, don't let this happen.
If I had what?
Well, no, but yeah, that's
if I had a guess, it would have to probably be the Iron Man suit. The helps. I mean, well, then again, it came from the inside, so maybe he had a lot of heart. Maybe
Spider-Man. He has a thing called spider sense, so he can sense things right before they're about to happen.
Oh, that's right.
They didn't talk about it in the movie in Homecoming, which I didn't like, but maybe because he's young and he's still developing his powers. But they did kind of quickly show it in this movie,
with his hair
standing up, and like he freaked out, and
that's good.
How do you
need a distraction?
Yeah,
oh my God,
cool.
there's a spaceship.
Yeah,
that was awesome.
Yeah. So a lot of the fans and everyone, and I think the Russo brothers said like, yeah, like I like that. Let's keep that. And I mean, it makes sense. Being that character was like his spider sense kicked in, so his spider sense felt like, hey, we're gonna die before he actually started like vanishing. So he had that extra couple seconds, and it was rough. And like, and I think part of it was like, you knew the relationship between Tony Stark and Peter Parker at that point. Like they had this like weird father-son, mentor, student kind of relationship.
Yeah.
And
that hit Tony hard.
Oh yeah. Oh man. And then
everyone in Guardians of the Galaxy except for Rocket.
Yeah.
Everybody there. And I had no idea.
And Nebula, but I don't know if you want to count her. But yeah. But I don't know if anybody watches or read the comic books. She in the comic book she gets like torn apart. Kind of the same, almost the same way, because in the movie she gets like ripped into pieces.
Oh yeah.
In the comic book she gets kind of like messed up by Thanos because of the gauntlet.
Right.
And as he's speaking to like this entity, this like, I think they call it infinity or the cosmic thing, like almost like he's speaking to God, the person who created the universe. That's what it seemed like, if I remember correctly. And it distracted him long enough where this old messed up version of Nebula was able to rip off the gauntlet, put it on herself, and put everything back to normal. And that was part of the big story. So she might play a big role in number 2. If they follow the comic, and they kind of do follow the comic.
Well, because also I heard about Warlock. See,
dude, it did stop recording. No, it's still recording, but the time is not moving. Oh well, we got this audio.
Maybe we should have put that thing on.
Yeah, that's weird.
Should we keep going?
It says recording.
Can you stop and play back?
Recording. Because the time should be going here, and it's not going. I don't think I can play it. That's fine.
All right.
We'll just use the audio from that thing. Man, this is super annoying.
Just let it keep going though.
Yeah, let it keep going. We'll figure it out.
What the hell were we saying?
We're talking about Nebula, her playing the big role.
Warlock. Warlock. That's right. Because even Warlock, I read that he was gonna. The lady, what's her name? Alyssa. Started with the A. I remember the gold chick.
The gold chick.
So
Aliyah,
yeah.
something like that.
She even said she created
The perfect being.
You're right, to defeat the Guardians of the Galaxy. But it turns out that he's going to become stronger than Thanos. That he's going to hold the gauntlet.
In the comic books, in the comic books, he does become he's as strong as Thanos, if not stronger. But he holds the gauntlet for a little while as well. From what I read, they were throwing the idea around of him being in the movie, and then at the end, the Russo brothers are like, he doesn't fit. Like, we already have 76 characters, and now you want to throw in a guy that no one's ever talked about except for 2 seconds.
Right.
That, and they even said it, the Russo brothers said it like before we can introduce him, he needs to have his own movie. And so that's why they didn't use him in here.
So is Warlock going to come out before the second Infinity? Or the second Infinity is coming out, then Warlock, like what he did with Spider-Man and then Homecoming?
See, but Spider-Man, like, there's been so many movies of Spider-Man, they already know. Like, everyone already knows. Because you already have two origin stories and, sequels for that one and sequel for the other one.
Right, and there's no telling of...
like Adam Warlock, he's like Guardians, like no one knew about the Guardians. So, it's like kind of similar to that. It's like you're able to kind of create the characters that you need to develop a story. With Adam... you still need to develop his story before you can throw him in with the bunch. I feel. And I feel he would have been pretty cool if they did do something like that. I do think he might be in Guardians 3 if they want to make a bad guy. I don't know. That would be kind of interesting. Because he's kind of a good guy, bad guy kind of thing. Like, he's out for his own.
Who?
Adam Warlock. Like, he's not a good guy, but he's not, like, inherently a bad guy either. At least in the comic books. But I think he's usually more on the bad side, of things.
Okay, because like I said, I know nothing about it.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Like, I felt one thing. I felt like, so we were talking about Black Widow. I feel like Captain America was not in this movie enough.
Well, he got from the theater, he got the biggest ovation.
Oh yeah. Oh, hands down.
Really?
Same at my theater.
Yeah. Because when there was a shadow, I'm like, who the hell is that? My
yeah.
brain's going Rolodex. Who is that?
Yeah.
He steps out. I'm like,
Yeah.
Oh.
I know, because it was Falcon and it was fighting. There was two of Thanos' kids came down, try to get the.
I thought it was 3 because it was Wanda. Ended up being it was 3. Ended up being
there was 2 in that scene that they were fighting.
Was there 2?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And
because it ended up being Wanda.
Yeah.
Which they were chasing. Yeah. And then there was Black Widow, Falcon, and Captain America.
And Vision. Well, they were going after Vision. They didn't care about it. It was Vision they were going after.
That's right.
And then it was the other girl with the horns and the other guy with the hoodie.
The girl with the horns reminds me of a character from a Night Elf. No, I'm sorry. Yeah, a Night Elf from
World of Warcraft.
Yeah. For some reason, I think it's the dark.
Yeah, the eyes and stuff like that. And the ears and stuff like that. Yeah. That was kind of a cool.
Sorry.
Yeah, nerd. But yeah, like that's why I saw what's Falcon and her, and I'm like, that's gotta be Cap. But I mean, either way, it was still badass. Like, she throws like a spear at him, and he just like catches it, and she like freaked out, and then he like steps out of the shadow. The theater went crazy. Yeah. It went bonkers, dude. But I feel like he wasn't in it enough.
No,
like he helped bring the two groups kind of together.
Yeah.
But that's all he really did, And then the part that you see in the trailer where like he's holding Thanos from snapping his hand or closing his fist,
right?
And you see like Thanos' face was like, holy crap, It was like I felt like it wasn't. This guy? Yeah, he's like, who does this guy think he is? And I mean, eventually he kicked him or whatever he did and did it, but. Yeah, I feel like he didn't play too big of a role. I mean, yeah, he was more of a glue instead of like a big role guy. Like he connected this and this, and then once they used the guys, then he took this and connected it, and then that was about it.
Right. Same thing with the teenager group. He kicked ass a little bit, but he was just there playing this little games. I need a handle for Thor, and he just.
I felt like I think he saw how important the situation was.
Yeah,
because they ruined that spoiler Marvel because of the toy. You know, the toy came out, so I'm like, oh, he's making a new.
See, I had no idea. I saw
weapon.
I worked there at Target, but I saw the toy. I had no idea what. Okay, you just found some twigs and put them together. That's what I thought. What I thought was funny. The smallest real life person was actually the biggest one there.
That was awesome.
I'm like, wait a minute, isn't he like a little guy?
Yeah. He's still considered a dwarf in there, but it was like, he was like 20 feet tall, 10 feet tall, or something like that. That was cool. That was kind of cool. I did like that. I heard he was in the movie, but no one knew. Everyone had all these ideas. Oh, he's this person, or he's just a voice. And then that was a cool little thing where he was the guy who helped make the weapons. Yeah. No, he actually helped make the gauntlet itself, which I thought was cool. And then he's like killed everyone. It was like, so it was like he's messed up, but
that thing was stronger than his old axe. Not an axe, it's a hammer.
His hammer, I
don't know, which is weird. I never knew. Yeah,
this thing is like made for a god, you know. And now he has the power that he knows it's inside of him, and now it's just like he has this tool that's also very strong. That instead of like, I feel like the hammer, they even said it was more of a tool, a conduit for him to use his power. Now it's like, hey, I have this really powerful weapon and I'm super powerful, and combine them and, oh man, messed up stuff. There was one part that kind of like never panned out for me. So there was a bunch of parts where I thought they were going one way, and then bam, like, nope, we're doing this. And one part was Shuri, Black Panther's sister, the smart sister.
Right.
She's trying to remove the gem, and there's one part happens, and one of the bad guys is in the castle, and so he's starting to get to her, and she's like going faster, and then right when he gets to her, like, she does something, she like slams and does all this, like she was rushing to do something really fast, besides remove the gem. I think she was doing something else as well, and she slammed it and then turned around and shot and ran away, and then that was it. So I'm like, what did she do? You know, and I thought she booby-trapped Vision's Infinity Stone. That's what I thought. So, like, when he finally gets it, he was going to snap his fingers, and it was going to be like a backfire. Because remember, as soon as he snapped his finger, it went to that weird scene with the water and baby Gamora. I'm like, oh crap, she booby-trapped it or something like that. Mm-hmm. That's what I thought. I'm like, she booby-trapped it. He's stuck in this alternate world.
I thought he killed himself. Well, I thought that was his heaven, and because once he snapped his finger, he disappeared.
Yeah, he just disappeared, or he transferred. Like it just cut a hard cut into like these pillars, baby Gamora, and him in water.
Yeah,
you know. And then I'm like, that's what I thought it was like. I'm like, oh, she booby trapped Visions in stone, and like as soon as he used it, like he's stuck somewhere. But it wasn't. It was just a vision that he saw. You know, it might have been just the first time he used all the stones together. It could have been the Mind Stone. It could have been this and that. I mean, I don't know yet. We'll find out next year. But yeah, that's what I thought. But then now I'm like, what did she do? What was she rushing to do? You know, because I mean, she had to have known she wasn't going to finish what she wanted to finish. So what was Plan B? What was she doing?
Maybe it was an escape pod.
No, well, she was working on the computer, and then she just like slammed it down, like hit something, and then everything disappeared, and then she turned around and shot and ran away. So I'm like, what did she do? I
have to see that part again.
And that's why I'm like, she did something. I don't know what. I know it's important.
Yeah, crap.
But yeah, I think we should probably finish it up right here. The one thing, so we'll finish this up with the end of the movie, not the post credit, the end of the movie.
Before we jump there, 2 minutes, real quick. Our predictions for the death.
Oh yeah,
never came true. My guy Panther was gone, but we said Iron Man and Captain America. Neither of them died.
Yeah, neither of them died.
And it's crazy how when Falcon disappeared, I'm like, what the hell? And then like
Bucky, I think Bucky was the worst before Spider-Man. Bucky's like, he just looks up, he goes, Cap, and then I'm like, what?
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, that's messed up. And then they all started happening, and then Spider-Man was the worst. But yeah, none of our predictions.
I thought they were going to be transferred to a different portal or something, but no. And when I think Bucky was the first one.
Yeah,
right?
I think he was
I
one of
believe.
one of the first ones. I think.
And then I'm like, what the fuck happened to my guy? Because I like Bucky a lot.
Yeah.
You know, but not to that extent. But the next thing you know, Black Panther, he's like, oh, get up, warrior, or something like that. Then poof, he's gone. Man, what the fuck?
Yeah,
I was freaking out. And then Batista.
Yeah, Drax.
Groot, yeah.
Groot.
Groot, he's gone. Quinn, he went. Doctor Strange, that I got a question about him.
Yeah. We'll talk
out
about
of
it was like 14 million.
yeah. Is
500,000.
that the plan? Was that one plan? Now, remember now, start telling me did any of them come out winning or something like that?
Yeah.
Is that part of the plan?
So what? Before you get, we'll talk about it. Is
I know you want to cut it, but man,
no, he used the time stone to look at like 14 million billion possibilities of how all of it will turn out.
Right.
And then Tony asked him, "How many do we win?" And he goes, "1." So there's only one possibility out of all these millions or however many he looked at. There's only one possibility, and he said it many times. He goes, "I'm here for the stone. I'm going to make sure the stone is number one." He goes, I don't care about you. I don't care about Spider-Man. The stone is what my priority is. And then he just gives it up. And there's people in the theater like, don't do it.
Right.
You know, and then what my mind went right away was like, he sacrificed the stone to save Tony Stark because Thanos was going to kill Tony Stark at that point. Like he already stabbed him in the gut. Like he was gonna kill him, like just crush him.
They crush the skull.
And then Doctor Strange was like, no, I'll give you the stone. Just promise you keep Tony alive. Like you can't kill him. And he kept his word and didn't kill him. I mean, that was one thing. He was very honorable.
He was
to that like crazy level extent.
Yeah.
Like he would keep his word, and stuff like that. But he was crazy nonetheless. So yeah, that was my thing. Like same thing. It was like was that Doctor Strange knows Tony Stark has to stay alive
for that one possibility?
Yeah, for that one possibility that everything will work out was like Doctor Strange, gave up that stone,
right? Even
though he kept saying like, "Listen, I'm here for the stone. I'm not here for you. I'm not here for the kid. I'm not here for anybody else but that stone." And then he gave it away. Yeah. So I'm like, my mind went to like, does he know? He knows something about how important Tony Stark is.
Yeah.
And it only makes sense because remember, Tony Stark started all this 10 years ago. So it would only be best for him to finish it, Yeah. So I thought that too. And I was like, yeah, that's got to be part of that one possibility.
Now, are they going to finish it like the one vision he had? I'm sorry, I keep mixing the movies together. I think Avengers. I don't know. It wasn't one. Maybe two.
Two.
Where he had everyone's dead.
I think that happened already. Like he couldn't save the world. He just saw everyone dead already.
You saw everyone died, but he was the only one alive.
Yeah.
And I think, yeah. So
it was a vision, but it was also like planted in his head. Because remember,
that's what I'm saying. If he was the last one, now, if he was the last one in that vision, in Stark's vision, was that the same vision that Dr. Strange saw and said, damn, if everyone's going to die, but he's going to live and he's the only one that's going to save everything, he needs to die. So here's the song.
Yeah. I mean, I always thought that vision was implanted in there by the red, what's her name? Elizabeth Olsen's character.
Oh, Wanda?
Wanda. I thought Wanda helped implant that because she knew, like when she was in his head, like she knew how worried he was about saving the world. So like that's what I always took it as. But it might be like he needs to be that one person alive. He needs to be the because he's gonna be a big role.
Okay.
But the big three are still alive: Iron Man, Thor, Cap. Those are three big. One other issue I have with what the hell was that CGI? I don't know if you noticed at the end. So Hulk got his ass kicked, and then no more Hulk. Like he refused to come out.
He called him an asshole. Man, called him an asshole.
Yeah, he goes, "Come out, you big baby," and Hulk would like kind of come out for a second and scream no. And then hide. And I was like, this is interesting. I kind of want to know, like, is he afraid? Which is cool, because there is a universe where Thanos does win and Hulk becomes like his pet. You know,
Oh,
and it's
crap.
cool. It's cool. So I'm like, so in order for Bruce Banner to fight, he goes in the Hulk Buster suit, and then there's a part where like the top comes off or gets ripped off, and he's standing there.
The CGI did
And the
suck
CGI, and that one, the CGI looked awesome everywhere else, but that one spot was just like,
you could tell.
yeah, it didn't fit.
They need work on that.
Like I just felt
I
like
think
it might have been rushed, like just last second. Like, oh man, we need this. Put him in there. You know, it was like him on a green screen. You know,
It was.
like it was something I do with like Twitch. You know, it was like it wasn't good. That was my own. Yeah, right. That was my one only with the graphics. Besides that, the graphics.
I think it was that one scene, 2 scenes of it, and that's it.
Yeah,
But one was very noticeable.
One was really noticeable where it just looked weird. It was really bad. But yeah, so we'll go back. So the end of the movie. This is we'll end the podcast here. Excuse me. Is Thanos said he'll be happy when he gets his plan done, all right, and when everything is done, and he can walk out and see the sunset, and then he'll smile. That's how the movie ends. Everyone vanishes, and then it cuts to like this little hut, right? Like I was like, okay, what is this? And then Thanos walks out, sits on the step, and you know he sees the sun rising or setting. I forgot.
No,
what
it
it was.
rising.
It was
Because
rising.
that's what he said.
Yeah.
Because someone asked him that. What are you gonna do when this is done? So
Yeah.
I'm gonna sit down. I'm gonna sit down and watch the sunrise.
Yeah. So that's how it ends. Is he sits down on the step of this little hut that he's in, and it's zoomed up on his face, and he's staring, and then he puts not a big smile like he in the other
smirk.
one, but a little smirk,
Yeah.
and then it
Like,
just
yeah.
ends.
Yeah,
And it just ends. And I looked over at Erica. I was like, "What the?" Like my jaw legit just dropped. I was like, "What?" Like, and it just ended. Like boom, black screen credits, and I was like, "What?" Earlier today, I read something that what if that's not the end of this movie, but that's the end of the next movie, right? So when I heard that, because in the comic books, he gets brain zapped or whatever, and he becomes a farmer, and he's just a happy farmer. Is it a little foreshadowing? Is that the ending?
He sees the sunrise, and there's his crops.
There's his crops. It's like, yeah. Does he become just a mindless? Not mindless, but he forgets who he was or is and stuff, and he just thinks he's a farmer, and that's it. So is that the end of number 2? And they just tied it in because that's what he wanted.
But he comes out after that vision with little Gamora, doesn't it?
Yeah. After that,
because she says, "Well, go ahead. You wanted to do that. Now you got it. Go do it.
Yeah.
Go do what you always wanted."
Yeah.
And he does.
Yeah.
You Bruce.
But she goes. But she says, she's like, "Oh, was it worth it?" And he goes, "Yes." And then it cuts back to everyone being dead. But yeah, man, that was rough. That was rough.
I never
But
seen.
yeah, when I thought about that, I'm like, maybe
I never seen those guys so defeated in my life. Captain America was like, "Holy crap, we lost."
Yeah.
Like he was shocked. He never loses.
I came out when we were talking on the car ride home, me and my girlfriend, and I'm like, this reminds me of The Empire Strikes Back. If anybody's ever watched that, Empire Strikes Back.
Old movie, that really old movie?
Well, it was it's at the end, the bad guys lose, or the good guys lose. Like Vader's still strong. The Empire's still gonna win. Han Solo got frozen and taken away. Luke's hand got cut off. Lando lost his city that he worked so hard for. It's just like, that's it. Like the bad guys won. And then I walked out. I'm like, this reminds me of The Empire Strikes Back. The bad guys won. The good guys are just there dealing with it. What's gonna happen next? That type of thing. And for me, I loved it because it was such a good movie, but it was very like it hurt because you're like, oh, because you cared about these guys 10 years.
Yeah.
You know, so
Spider-Man, man, dude, I was freaking out. I'm like, no, they can't die. They can't die.
Yeah.
But they did.
Everyone did. A lot of people. But yeah, any last words?
2 of them. Holy shit. I want to see that movie again.
Yeah.
Sorry for the swearing, but damn, I want to see it again.
Yeah.
Sorry for the swearing.
Yeah, I want to definitely see it again.
So good. It did. I did not see anything coming. I did. You saw it first before I did. You said don't expect that, and I'm like, I'm not, because remember I told you I don't. Wow.
Yeah.
I was like,
You didn't expect that.
no,
You know what
I did not.
Yeah.
No, I did not, and it was crazy.
Because I know you're like, oh, this was gonna happen. Maybe this will happen, and it like I said, it just
Right after the movie, we saw the podcast, the first one, and I'm like, nope. I was like, nope. I was wrong. Nope. Damn, we were both wrong. On
yeah,
every
on almost
level.
everything. Yeah,
Every
almost
level. Panels, he's gonna get 2 or 3. He's saying 4 or 5. Nope, he got all 6.
Yeah, he got all 6
That
and
bastard.
destroyed it. Red Skull was a cool little.
I like that.
That was a cool little throw in. Like, oh hey, don't forget about this guy.
Mm-hmm.
I like that.
Mm-hmm.
But
I forgot about him.
But yeah. I mean, this movie was awesome. I can't wait to go see it again. We'll definitely go see it again.
Friday?
I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, it was so good. It was so good. I can't wait. One more year. Ant-Man, Wasp is coming out next, and then Captain Marvel.
I thought Deadpool. Oh, but that's different.
Yeah,
that's okay.
Marvel, but it's not MCU.
Mm-hmm.
And then the next MCU is Ant-Man and Wasp, and Captain Marvel, and then Avengers 4. See how it all turns out. Oh man, I can't wait a year.
I want to go to sleep. Wake me up when that comes out.
Yeah.
I could skip Ant-Man. I could skip Marvel.
I wouldn't
throw
say.
me in Infinity War.
I think Captain Marvel is going to play a big role.
Is it?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's at the end, so they hinted at it. And then Captain Marvel is going to be a timepiece. So it's going to be timed in the 90s. So Samuel L. Jackson's not going to have the patch. The pictures I see, it looks like Samuel L. Jackson.
I saw the pictures.
From Pulp Fiction.
Yeah.
Right?
I'm thinking, wow, they same outfit and everything.
No, I'll put a picture here of him. Yeah, he looks like from Pulp Fiction.
I love he almost said
fro.
he's iconic motherfucker.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
as a
very
mother,
close.
he goes away.
Yeah, he disappeared. That was exciting. But yeah, he calls or Captain Marvel. And I think that's now I'm more excited about that movie. Because at first I was like, whatever. Now I'm like, ooh, she's going to be a big role. She's big in the next one coming up.
And like I said, I thought Captain Marvel was going to become Aunt Peggy's...
thing? No.
Aunt Peggy's niece.
Niece. Yeah. Well, she's in it.
Yeah, remember she said, Aunt Peggy had many secrets.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
But no,
she in the comic books that she's her own character. She's Agent 16 or 17, whatever agent she is. But yeah, she's a badass in the comic book too.
But anyway, the last words. Wow.
Go see it.
Yeah.
Talk to us. Leave some comments. Let us know what you guys thought about it.
Yeah, please do.
Your favorite parts.
We're interested.
Yeah, your favorite parts of it. If they could have done anything better. Any predictions for Avengers 4? Leave them in the comments. And we'll talk to you guys about them. See what's going on. And I think that's where we'll end it for this week. I want to say thank you to everyone for listening to just a bunch of guys talk about a nerdy movie.
Yeah.
Number 1 movie in the world right now.
Yes.
Number 1 box office records, all this good stuff. But yeah, if you enjoyed this video, give us a thumbs up, like that video, like the audio if you're listening to us on any of the audio only. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button, and you don't want to miss any more podcasts from us. And if you want to join a podcast and you're one of our close friends, you know who you guys are. We bug you all the time.
Yeah.
Come on and join us. We will love it. And and that is it for this week. And
it's fun.
We'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.
See you later.
You want to go do karate in the garage? Yep! Did we just become best friends?